thing's not like the other, in a sense here. Now, for those unfamiliar with Dragon Warrior, the object is for our racers to find and defeat the evil Dragon Lord. To access the Dragon Lord's Charlotte Castle, they'll need to create a bridge via an item called the Rainbow Drop. And there are essential items needed to create that Rainbow Drop, and we'll get into those as we go along here, as we are getting ready to start already, the king giving their instructions. And we'll see what is in the first 3 treasure chests here. We've got a fairy water, as well as, wow, another fairy water. So a lot of early repelling, and the magic key. And, ooh, starting off with heal more, which isn't too shabby here. So our runners are going to head on out here and try to fight some enemies along the way here, but there's a cave right by here, and it looks to be the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave, and that is going to have Erdrick's sword right off the bat. Amazing Toaster picking that up.
I was going to say, I was hoping to see somebody check their status screen to see what kind of strength they're starting with, but Erdrick's sword makes it a lot easier.
And kaiten619 also picking up that Erdrick sword.
And Lord of the Synth, I saw, did check his window, and they did start with 21 strength, so they were going to be hitting hard anyways. But you can add plus 40 to that with the Erdrick sword, the best sword in the game.
And Amazing Toaster going up to level 2 right off the bat.
So I saw Amazing Toaster go in there and pick up the sword. I'm not sure who else has gone in there just yet, but I'm sure they will within a minute or so.
Well, the Datyedyeguy just picked it up, and about 30 seconds ago or so, Kaiten picked it up. So we've got Erdrick's sword for everybody but Lord of the Synth thus far.
So on our top screen, we have both players with 22 experience, and it looks like both level 2 as Amazing Toaster takes a death there. I missed what was the enemy that they managed to kill, but with the Erdrick sword, I don't think they'll have too many problems getting going here.
Well, it was the knight that gave them the 22 experience. The Datyedyeguy, meanwhile, getting 251 off of an enemy and vaulting up to level 4.
We'll have to watch and see if these guys are remembering that they did start with the Heal More spell. They have enough MP to cast it a couple of times in some of the longer battles. Want to take advantage of everything that you have to start with. At level 2, Repel and Return are also learned, as it seems, on Lord of the Synth screen there. So on Kaiten's screen, we see that they are near the southern edge of the map, and he's been wandering the forest there on that edge, looking for a different zone to try and fight some enemies to the south of that large swamp, which is near Datyedyeguy Castle there.
Ooh, and Wraith Knights with sleep.
I've not gotten a good look to see if there's any additional spells on level 4 on Datyedyeguy, but and now level 3 is Lord of the Synth, so we got a sprint here to start with 4 racers trying to level up as quickly as possible.
And certainly doing so. Amazing Toaster jumping up to level 4 after taking out a Scorpion for 174 experience. Ooh, Wraith Knights and Magidrakies with Hurt More.
We have a town way down on the southern coast on Kaiten's screen. He's going to go into the swamp and see if he can get there, one step away. Alright, so as soon as they find some money, they're going to want to get to this town because this has the key shop.
Ah, yes, Rimeldar.
It's a fairly inexpensive hand axe once they get to that point. Everything else seems pretty pricey, and Kaiten kind of wandering the town. You don't really have to go over there in the randomizer, nothing of value towards the western part of town. There is a treasure chest once you do acquire the keys, and now he's finding his way to the key shop.
Meanwhile, the Datyedyeguy dispatching. Apparently, the enemy of choice early on here is going to be the Wizards, giving 251 experience, just 4 off of the max.
And we see AmazingToaster trying to brave the swamp now as well. See if he makes his way to Rimuldar.
Oh, and Wraith Knight taking out AmazingToaster with some sleep.
LordOfTheSynth and Datyedyeguy also trudging through some swamp tiles. So early exploration for all the runners, which is good because there are some great things close by to Datyedyeguy. We already found the Erdrick sword in a nearby cave, and access to keys early should get them started. We're going to see what's in the treasury in the bottom right screen here. So far, we got some gold and a cursed belt and a torch. See if we can find some quest items. No, we got a spare key. Still no quest items found yet. They're going to be wanting to find the silver harp, the stones of sunlight, and the Erdrick's token as quickly as they can.
And the Datyedyeguy going to take a look in one of our treasure chests in Rimuldar and is going to find a torch.
The Datyedyeguy has an early lead up at level 7 now, and he'll be checking the shop with some disappointment, I'm sure, as the guard just bars the way in. That is annoying when that happens.
Ooh, and another Hurtmore on LordOfTheSynth, courtesy of Datyedyeguy.
AmazingToaster making his way over to the key shop. So 3 out of the 4 runners so far I've noticed have acquired keys. Not sure if LordOfTheSynth has made his way there yet. And we're going to get to see what's in the basement of Datyedyeguy on Kaitin's screen. Looks like level 4 they picked up the heal spell to go along with the heal more that they started with. And we have a dungeon of sorts in the basement here.
Swamp North.
Yeah, let's see if he or one of our runners decides to try and make their way through the swamp cave early. It potentially could back into Garenham, or could just take you over to the second continent. Maybe there's some better exploration to be done over there. LordOfTheSynth now also finding Rimuldar, so we're going to have keys for all runners now.
Poltergeist giving a little bit of trouble in the swamp cave for Kaitin.
So AmazingToaster now also has raided the keys, and maybe he's going to also be heading into the basement. So we're seeing some pretty similar strategies from all players so far. They've gone out and they've all found the sword. They've done some early grinding. And when they've felt strong enough, they've done the early exploration necessary to find Rimuldar. It's sort of, they're all kind of on track here. It's a pretty close race on both of our races here so far.
Yeah, I would say that a slight exploration advantage going to Kaitin, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty even.
Kaitin kind of taking his time in the Swamp North cave. I'm not sure if he recognizes which cave he's actually in. And he's sort of making his way towards where you would go for the princess, and I'm not sure if he's wanting to go there. Oh, now it looks like he's found his way towards the southern exit. Let's see if he makes it there. Also, he's low on hit points, and he does have some healing spells at his disposal. I'm not sure if he remembers that. And we do have the back door of Garanham. Interesting start here.
So we've got 3 more chests, one of which has the cursed belt, some more big bucks, and even more. Oh, never mind. We've got a gold grind going on AmazingToaster's end, as Kaiten purchasing a full plate armor and a very inexpensive silver shield, just 6 gold.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Toaster recalls what was for sale in Rimildar, but he's probably just going to be saving up as much gold as he can now, within reason. He could peek into this shop in Garanham first, or he could make his way back to that Rimildar shop if he saw something there that he particularly wanted. Good heads-up play there to take advantage of the gold grind situation backing into Garanham without ever going to the overworld, so that's what caused it. They started in Tantegel, raided the treasury, and they ended up in Garanham without ever going outside.
You know, how he was able to do that, to kind of give a little more detail on it, chests respawn every time you go to the overworld map, but due to the programming limits at the time the game was made, the game only tracks up to 8 chests as opened. Every chest opened beyond that 8th chest can be taken over and over and over again, and that's what ended up happening. From going from the treasury in Tantegel, going through the swamp cave over to the back of Garanham, and also having seen the king, as there are 3 chests in the room that are always marked as open because though we don't keep raiding them over and over again. Once he got to the second of those 3 chests in Garanham, that was the 9th open chest, and because the game didn't know what to do with it, it just left it there, allowing AmazingToaster to take 500 to 750 gold per take.
Yeah, and as chat notes, it just so happened that some of the best items for sale in Garanham were fairly cheap, so he's going to end up with a lot of extra gold there. He did pick up the full plate and the silver shield, if we want to mark that off for AmazingToaster. Wasn't sure if Kaiten had the money for both of those items or not. He did also buy some things at that shop. He at least has the silver shield for sure. Probably the full plate as well. I think it was only a couple of hundred for the full plate. And remember, AmazingToaster and Kaiten are not actually racing against each other. They have different opponents. They just happen to be running on the same seed. So they both have some early equipment advantages over their opponents right now.
And some enemies giving some pretty healthy experience totals. A Ghost for 236, a Drakey for 187, Scorpions at 174, the Wizards at 251.
Kind of amusing. It looked like LordOfTheSynth opened one key door and then maybe ran out of keys or something. Had to go all the way over to the key shop and then walked all the way back around to open the other door, because if you exit the town and re-enter, then that door would respawn. So taking the time to walk all the way around just to save that one key. So kind of amusing little things that can happen sometimes while you're trying to inventory management per se. And Hurtmore on level 7 for sure, so these guys are off to a fast start.
As LordOfTheSynth falling to a gold man. Meanwhile, Datyedyeguy getting into a battle with the Wraith Knight that has Hurtmore and Healmore, I believe. But now with Stop Spell being used, this should make it considerably easier. And gets, the Death Necklace in the mountain cave.
Yeah, it can certainly be a useful item, usually later in the game. And see if he's able to fully clear the mountain cave without dying, and that would help to get one step closer to getting those quest items. Now that they're pretty well equipped, they need to explore and find the 3 quest items as quickly as possible, and also the Urgic armor is, for all intents and purposes, a required piece of equipment to find eventually as well.
And we've got the fighter's ring. Okay. And the tie-dye guy's going to put that on. And finding some big bucks as well. And we've got the wings. And I missed what the fourth one was.
Yeah, I missed that as well, but yeah, it looks like a little bit of a difference in some of the strategies. Looked like Lord of the Synth was spending a little bit more time grinding for a little bit, but now he did make his way into the back of Garenham. Some of the other racers have been running around trying to find some things a bit earlier, and actually fairly close on experience and fairly close on exploration, so we've got ourselves a race here.
Yeah, the tie-dye guy with the early experience advantage, already up to almost 2,000.
So AmazingToaster now is also in the mountain cave, making his way to the second floor. I guess we'll get a chance to check and see what he finds in that chest.
I'll be happy to find the fighter's ring and death necklace.
Lord of the Synth also grinded about 10,000. I think there must have been something back in the Rimbaldar shop that cost quite a bit of money that they both remembered, and now they're going to realize they can just get the full plate and the silver shield here for about 200. He grinded about the same amount of gold as AmazingToaster did, so there was something back in that other shop that they had in mind just in case. Unnecessary as it turns out, but a good tactic nonetheless. I just saw Lord of the Synth buy a dragon scale as well. I'm not sure if all the other runners have the dragon scale equipped or not just yet. Pretty sure all four of them have been to the town of Garenham now, so it would be logical that they all have bought the dragon scale and equipped it. You don't know necessarily that that's the case, but most likely they all have the dragon scale, and they all have the full plate and the silver shield to go with the Erdrick sword.
Wow, AmazingToaster jumping up to level 7.
Yeah, and that jump, I believe, is when they learn Hurt More, so just one more tool in the toolbox to be able to slay some of these enemies.
Meanwhile, the tie-dye guy up to level 9. And Kaiten perhaps getting a map out.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me too when he was in the Swamp North, that he just maybe doesn't quite know his way around the dungeons just yet, trying to check for a map. I think he's in the mountain cave now, he just doesn't know exactly where he is.
Alright, AmazingToaster donning the dragon scale and the fighter's ring, or putting on the fighter's ring. Meanwhile, the tie-dye guy is in coal, and he has found the fairy flute in the search spot.
Okay, that's one search spot down, 2 to go. And still the armor is somewhere.
Okay, it looks like the item that we missed in the mountain cave is a rather noted one, as it's the silver harp, one of the essential items, and that was picked up by both AmazingToaster and Lord of the Synth, as well as the tie-dye guy earlier.
Amazing. They've both made very similar, or all four racers have made very similar progress and seem to be doing a pretty good job with this seed so far. It's I'm looking forward to potentially all 4 of them running Sharlock at the same time here. This is crazy.
Oh man, meanwhile, the Datyedyeguy going up to level 10. And he's going to go into coal and find the fairy flute in a moment here.
And it's funny, this is something that happens in the Chaos Seed sometimes. Kaiten was struggling with an enemy. It looked like the blue dragon wasn't able to hit him really. And then 4 or 5 turns later, the blue dragon just runs away. So that's kind of something you don't see in the regular game, but it happens in Chaos because of how their stats are all mixed up.
Toaster going up to level 8.
Kaiten having a little bit of an issue with his menu. He first tried to take the stairs, and then he tried to search the stairs, before finally settling on the stairs command for the stairs. Yes, it happens. Now he's at the second chest, and he will find the harp here. So all 4 runners, I believe, now have the harp, making great progress.
And AmazingToaster is in the tablet cave where he found the dragon scale. Another level for the Datyedyeguy. He's already up to level 12. That's his 3rd level in the last 2 minutes.
And at level 8, AmazingToaster does have the outside spell, so using that to get out of the tablet cave, saving himself half a trip, which is useful.
And LordOfTheSynth looks at first glance to be in the tablet cave as well.
The Datyedyeguy has started to pull away as far as getting an experience lead, as Kaiten's still kind of stuck on level 4 as he's traversing the cave here. He is close to that jump up to level 7, but hasn't gotten there yet.
And starting to pull away a little bit with the exploration as well as the Datyedyeguy.
So the fighter's ring was found also in the mountain cave. So all runners, I guess, maybe might have the fighter's ring and the dragon scale equipped at this point, which is +2 offense and +2 defense, to go along with some pretty sturdy equipment.
And another level for the Datyedyeguy as he takes out a Spectre for 220 experience.
So Kaiten now is quite low on MP, and he has not gotten to the last chest yet in the mountain cave. He's double checking his maps now. Hopefully he's able to get there without dying, to save himself a trip back in here later.
And AmazingToaster picking up the fairy flute and coal. As LordOfTheSynth goes up to level 9 with a nice MP boost.
AmazingToaster also just upgraded to the magic armor in coal. Not sure if LordOfTheSynth did that when he was in coal, unless I'm mixing up the runners already. It's hard to remember what all 4 of them have done so far.
And the Datyedyeguy taking out a Druid Lord in Hawk's Nest. And in the search spot, we have Erdrick's armor for the Datyedyeguy. So the fairy flute in coal, and the search spot in Hawk's Nest has Erdrick's armor. Is this even randomized?
Yeah, that's amazing. And so now, if they do find the town of Cantlin, either the old man will give coordinates or he will not. And if he does, then you will know for sure that the token is on in the overworld. If he doesn't give coordinates, then the token can still be in a chest somewhere, perhaps in the grave. So that top race between Lord of the Synth and AmazingToaster is shaping up to be a pretty good one here. I guess Lord of the Synth now has the slight lead, having picked up the Erdrick's armor, which is something that AmazingToaster will have to find eventually before he can run into Sharlock. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that all 4 of our runners have acquired the Death Necklace. I believe that was in the mountain cave. So you're probably taking better notes than I am, Farhan, but I'm not sure if we've really run across any particularly terrible enemies just yet. They seem to be making their way through this map fairly easily.
Nothing particularly nasty in terms of, I mean, well, early on they were pretty nasty in terms of spells, but they've been giving away so much experience that they've been able to get these levels almost exponentially here. I mean, as I'm looking at the different totals, I was going to say AmazingToaster, yep, he's already got the flute. We've got the Stones of Sunlight in Garen's Grave. For Datyedyeguy, along with some bucks. And a pesky Druin.
Alright, so Datyedyeguy has 2 of the 3 items needed, if you count the harp as one of the items. At some point, he will run into a cave with an old man, and he'll trade in that harp for the Staff of Rain. It's always nice to have the harp early, so that you don't have to make a second trip back when you do find that cave. So all runners having that luxury in this one.
And I missed what that third chest was among the 3 in Garen's Grave.
Yeah, I think they were both big bucks, actually.
Both some money? Alright.
And he's decided to go down into the bottom levels, since they do have keys, and he's here now, so you might as well, I guess.
Meanwhile, AmazingToaster is in Hawk's Nest. He's going to be looking to get that. Let's see, looking to get that search spot and get the armor.
Oh, and I looked away and I didn't see what the tie-dye found in the 4th chest in the grave.
It came up as empty, so it would be a harp in this case.
Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, an herb or a key or something like that. Whatever he has full inventory. Making his way down, there's only 1 left.
To get into that part of the grave.
Yeah, that's right. So it would be the herb in this case, and he's making good progress. It looks like, again, they're not having much trouble with any of these enemies. So if he can make it to that last chest, then that's 1 more area fully explored and 1 less chest that could potentially have the Erdrick's token if it's not on the overworld. Yeah, I was just thinking ahead. If they don't really run into anything too nasty on the overworld, I wonder what could be in Sharlock that would pose as any sort of a challenge. So potentially they might realize that, and they could try and run into Sharlock at a borderline level that they may otherwise, want another level or 2. It might be a race where they could get in there early if there's not really any challenging enemies in this seed. Man,
a Wyvern giving 214. They're just handing out experience left, right, and sideways here. Very generous in terms of experience this time around.
So Brockenary for Lord of the Synth, and he's going to check the shop here, but there's not really much left for him to buy.
Well, upgrading from the full plate to the magic armor.
All right, so magic armor for Lord of the Synth, and he's, I guess AmazingToaster already has the Erdrick's armor, so slight equipment lead there, but that's a close race. That top race is close. They're about 100 apart, from what I can tell in experience.
Yeah, as AmazingToaster jumping up to level 13, taking out that wizard, and Datyedyeguy has found the Rainbow Drop Cave, also known as the Jerk Cave. That'll be where they'll go once they acquire all of the essential items, the Staff of Rain, the Stones of Sunlight, and Erdrick's Token. And they're still looking for the cave to trade in that Silver Harp for the Staff of Rain. And Datyedyeguy finding a little sectioned off island connected via a bridge, a 6-space Sparkover island, I guess, for lack of a better term. There's almost a compulsion to search that area, even though the likelihood of it being the overworld item, in this case, possibly the token, are next to nil.
So we are just a little over a half an hour into this run here, and we have runners ranging from level 8 all the way up to level 16 already. There are plenty of seeds where they haven't even gotten a kill by 30 minutes in, so this is kind of a refreshing chaos seed, if I say so myself, making plenty of steady progress in this one.
I say as refreshing as chaos can be. And Datyedyeguy has found the Staff of Rain Cave.
Yeah, and he saw Sharlock right off to the east here as well, so he does not have much left to find. Just looking for those... mostly he needs to find the token at this point. So one of the places the token can be in, I believe none of the 4 racers have found the town of Cantlin yet. And that would give you the coordinates for the overworld. And if there are any chests left unexplored, I'm trying to look at a checklist here. Not sure if there are any chests left where that token could be.
No. We have found all the chests, so that means by default the overworld spot... yes, Datyedyeguy did get the staff.
And he knows where the jerk is. I believe that was him that found the jerk just recently, correct? Or was that on another screen?
No, that was him, but we still have the token to deal with.
Yeah, so they found the chest in Rimildar, of course, and the ones in Garenham, and the ones in the treasury in Tantegel. They found the Stones Cave. I don't know if all of the runners found the Tablet Cave or not. And Datyedyeguy, at least, has been all the way through the grave as well, I believe, and the Mountain Cave. Yeah, so he is going to be looking for the town of Cantlin.
Yep, and Lord of the Synth, meanwhile, has found the town of Cantlin.
There we go. So that could help him to catch up or take a slight lead over AmazingToaster if that turns out to be a tough town to find. He's going to find these coordinates now, and let's see how bad of a count this is and whether or not maybe the princess will be required here.
Which, if she is, at least she's not that far of a walk. As the Swamp Cave, you can access it right from the back of Tantegel Castle.
And Ferran, can you remind me if we saw Brockenary on the first continent or the second continent? Because if it's on the second continent, this would be yet another one of those seeds with a potential soft lock opportunity with the Death Necklace.
You know what? The only sighting that we had of Brockenary as unfortunately it tends to be in a lot of these seeds, was so brief that I wasn't able to catch it.
They just noped right out of it. Yeah, I guess Lord of the Synth did buy the magic armor there, but yeah, I didn't catch exactly where he was in his exploration, which continent he was on. All right, so what do we have for a count here? Let's see if somebody in chat will write down the count for us, the coordinates.
Oh, I was able to get it. That's 66 north and 6 east.
Okay, 66 north. I'm trying to remember the shape here. I would say that that's probably on the second continent. I think Datyedyeguy was near the southern coastline of the map. Well, we'll see. Yeah, like you said, if they do want to use the princess for that count, just make a return spell right back to Datyedyeguy and you can go right into the swamp cave.
Meanwhile, the Datyedyeguy is in the swamp cave and is going to be rescuing a princess, but has to get through a golem to do so. As AmazingToaster goes up to level 15.
And the Datyedyeguy does have the outside spell and the return spell. Or the outside, I guess we'll take them right to Datyedyeguy anyways, but this should be a quick trip back to get the Gwaelin's Love item, and he'll be on his way. Oh, wait a minute. He has not found Caitlin, correct? But he's just doing this preemptively, I assume.
This is a preemptive, yes, that is correct. And I'm trying to remember, I don't know if AmazingToaster has gone into Garen's grave to get the stones.
Yeah, I don't believe so. They have not all found the grave at this point. I forget exactly where that was, but yeah, it was on the top level of the grave. And well, we know the only one I saw for sure that got it was the Datyedyeguy.
And Kaiten. Hole. AmazingToaster dealing with a wolf that, oof, only 7 experience.
And Kaiten's got some catching up to do. He's fallen behind experience-wise on level 8 here, about 1,500 experience. He is doing a good job finding the various locations. Just the Datyedyeguy seems to be running through this map pretty quickly, so he's jumping out to a pretty good lead in that race. The other race is very close. And I believe it's in that first race, Farhan, maybe you could remind me, the first race, I think we have a 1-0 against an 0-1, correct?
Yes, that is correct. We've got, I was going to say, of our 4 runners here, I was going to say we've got so quickly into things here, it's been hard to keep track of everything as it's gone along here, as AmazingToaster making his way over towards Sharlock. In there, I was going to say, of the 4 here, the Datyedyeguy is the 1-0 person.
Oh, okay, I got that backwards. It's the Datyedyeguy is the 1-0, and Kaiten is the 0-1. Okay, got it. So the other 2, the ones that in the close race on the top here, Lord of the Synth and AmazingToaster, they're both sort of fighting off elimination. I think they're both 0-1 then, so that's going to be an exciting finish.
Yeah, all of our competitors will still have a match next week. It's just some may be eliminated from the bracket stage of the tournament coming up a couple of weeks from now. Those who finish with a 2-1 record or better will move on to the bracket stage after the 3 Swiss rounds. Last week being the slime round, this being the Drakey round, and next week being the ghost round of the tournament.
All right, and we have the staff now for AmazingToaster. So he has traded in his harp and acquired the Staff of Rain. And Datyedyeguy, I believe, still searching for the town of Cantlin. Just wandering the map, hoping to find it.
But on the same token, also knocking out enemies to gain experience along the way and just further that lead, as he's got almost 6,300 experience, already up to level 18.
And LordOfTheSynth, I assume, unless I missed it, maybe he has not found the town of Hawksness yet. We still have him as the magic armor, so he would have to get that Erdrick's armor in order to catch up in that race.
And LordOfTheSynth is making his way into the swamp cave and is going to try to get a princess as well.
Yeah, now LordOfTheSynth already got the coordinates, I believe, if I'm not mixing that up. So he knows, or at least he suspects that it's on the second continent, and he's going for that princess as a result.
That is correct. And to answer a question in chat, yes, this is 2 separate races, but all 4 of our runners are on the same seed. Due to scheduling availability, this was the best way to make it work, as there were 4 different races scheduled for tonight based on availability.
Interesting. AmazingToaster just now opening the chest in Rimuldar. Perhaps he felt like he had forgotten to do that, and still has not found all the quest items. So he made a trip back to Rimuldar, which is fairly close to the start, and just now is opening that chest. That's an easy one to forget. And if it does happen to have something important, that can really trip you up. So he went back and opened it. Now he's refreshing on his stock of keys, and let's see if he can find anywhere else to look for those quest items. We know that one of them is in the grave.
Yeah, all the treasure chests so far have been opened here in the overworld. The Stones of Sunlight, that is in Garen's grave in the top area. The Silver Harp was in the Mountain Cave. Erdrick's Sword, our runners found all pretty much within the first few minutes, as it was in a cave just southwest of Tanagil Castle.
Yeah, and we had the Erdrick's armor on the search spot in Hawksness, which means by elimination that the token is pretty much going to be on the overworld, which I believe LordOfTheSynth is going to be on his way there shortly.
Yes, the fairy flute was in the coal search spot, which is what allows that process of elimination, and McGrew randomized, which it most certainly all the different things that are shaken up here: the map, the town and cave locations, the weapon and armor shop contents, the order of spells learned, although they're guaranteed to learn all 10 spells by level 16. Also, the enemy locations, the enemy spells and abilities, and specifically for the Chaos Tournament, also randomized are the weapon and armor prices, the enemy statistics, the amount of experience needed from one level to the next, plus a few extra surprises once they reach the Dragon Lord.
It's interesting, just a minute or two ago, I saw Datyedyeguy. He went into a town, and it happened to be Hawksness, and he just backed straight out of there. He's clearly just hunting the map for the town of Cantlin, and it looks like he's like doubling back over some places that he's already been. Can't quite remember which towns were which, and that's really all he needs to complete, to get access to Sharlock at this point. He's got everything else. Needs to find the town of Cantlin to get those coordinates.
Well, the Datyedyeguy already has the Erdrick's armor, so no need to go back into Hawksness.
Yeah, he just saw the icon for a town there. He's just looking for Cantlin. He just couldn't remember. He's just trying to.
Oh, it's like, did I find this already or not? I gotcha.
Yeah, so he's well on his way. Curious to see if LordOfTheSynth manages to make his way to where the token is. I thought that he acquired the princess, right? So maybe we just don't have it marked off. But he's the only one I think that's been to Cantlin. And not sure if either of our runners in the top race there have found the grave, but they're going to need that to find the stones.
Well, Lord of the Synth, yes, he does have the princess, as he just used Gwaelin's love to determine his location in relation to the castle, the Gwaelin positioning system, as it's been jokingly known.
Okay, and AmazingToaster just now rescued the princess as well, so that's a close race. They're both now sort of looking... I don't remember if AmazingToaster found Caitlin, but that's a close one.
And the Datyedyeguy going right in and right out of coal.
And Lord of the Synth, I believe, just acquired the flute. He's in coal now.
And some dual cave spelunking on the right side by AmazingToaster and Kaiten.
Yeah, and am I seeing that right? We have level 18 already for the Datyedyeguy, because he is just casting Repel and traversing the map with very little resistance at this point.
Yeah, he has foregone enemy and level grinding for the exploration to find Caitlin, which he just has, and that's actually allowed AmazingToaster to catch up in terms of experience and is right there at level 18 with the Datyedyeguy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it took the Datyedyeguy a long time to find Caitlin, that was kaiten619's chance to maybe close some experience gap, but he's got the coordinates now. He'll be on his way over there to get the last quest item shortly.
And Lord of the Synth is the first to find the token. Meanwhile, the Datyedyeguy has just gotten the coordinates.
And we have Caitlin for AmazingToaster now as well, if he didn't find it yet. Looks like he's also going for those coordinates, so here we go.
And the Datyedyeguy taking a look at the coordinates and realizing he's got a little ways to go. And another level for Lord of the Synth. Gonna get him up to 17.
Yeah, if we happen to have anyone in chat that has the super secret method of finding out what their stats are, at level 18, oftentimes that's enough to fight the Dragon Lord. So no wonder they're casting Repel and sort of trying to avoid enemy encounters at this point. They probably have the stats they need. Not sure, of course, but...
Well, I glanced at Lord of the Synth. He's at level 17 and has an attack power of 145.
Yeah, so they don't really need to fight too many more monsters anymore. This is a matter of just acquiring the items that you need as fast as possible. So AmazingToaster has the Erdrick's armor. He is going to need to find the grave to get these stones, and he's also going to need to use that compass to make his way to the overworld search spot for the token. I believe they know where the Rainbow Drop Cave is, so they'll have to trade all of that in. Meanwhile, Lord of the Synth, I believe, does not have the Erdrick's armor yet. He's going to have to make his way to Hawksnest for that. But he, I think, has gotten the token. Did we have that marked off a minute ago? He has the token. So they're both racing to find items that the other does not have.
Synth has it and Tie-Dye just got it. The Erdrick's token.
All right, McGrew letting us know that the runners on 18 have 163 attack power, so they're in endgame mode here. They just have to run around and collect these items. Sometimes it's the other way around, and you have everything you need, and you have to grind several more levels before you can take on the Dragon Lord. This is a different case where they had a quick start with the Erdrick Sword, and it was a matter more of exploring the map and getting all the items necessary to access Charlotte Castle in an efficient manner as possible. Oh, and we have Hawksness for Lord of the Synth, so if he fights this Guardian and acquires the Erdrick's armor, he will, in my mind, have the exploration lead over AmazingToaster at this point, having already found the token.
And Datyedyeguy is going to talk to the jerk and get himself a rainbow drop.
And there's the Erdrick's armor for Lord of the Synth. So, one less thing for him to worry about. The Datyedyeguy now can go right into Charlock. There's nothing else he needs to do.
And Toaster has picked up the token. Slight experience lead to Toaster, although... Oh, Toaster going up to 19. I missed that along the way here.
So on level 19, they have 129 hit points. That is right around... Well, I guess maybe they have even more. Oh, no, wait a minute. Difference in builds here kicking in. So, AmazingToaster has Strength Agility build. He has 129 hit points. I'm just thinking now they could use the Death Necklace if they wanted to at the end of the game, if they, have a shortage of MP, for example. Lord of the Synth on the top left, he is running a Strength HP build, so it looks like he's in the high 130s right now for max HP, which is a more comfortable threshold to use the Death Necklace if desired. The Datyedyeguy also now on level 19, and he is entering Charlock and making his way.
And looking at those totals, I think 19 is probably going to be the peak.
I missed it. Was it a long way away from 20?
It was a little over $3,000, yeah.
Yeah, there's no need anyways. He's good to go. He should be getting down there. I didn't even see a lot of enemies that would even be a potential challenge, unless there's something in Charlock that they just never ran into on the overworld.
And a good point being made by McGrew in chat to not use the Death Necklace. It is a cursed item that will... it'll get you kicked out of Datyedyeguy Castle if you die and warp back to the castle, and in this case, it will cause you to soft lock.
Yeah, I had brought that up a little while ago, I couldn't remember if Brockenary was on the first continent or the second continent, because that's your only recourse when this happens.
And it was confirmed that Breckenary is on the second continent, and the reason that it would cause a soft lock is the only way to uncurse yourself would be to go to the town of Breckenary, and the only way to reach Breckenary is to go through the basement of Datyedyeguy Castle. And if you're kicked out of Datyedyeguy Castle because of being cursed, there's no way to access the transition to Breckenary to become uncursed. And Lord of the Synth finding the Stones of Sunlight.
Okay, so he has found the grave and has the Stones of Sunlight now. And I don't even think he's going to need to go to the bottom levels of the grave, so that'll save some time. Yeah, and he just does exit the cave without exploring the bottom levels. He's got all 3 quest items now, so no need to continue exploring, really. Needs to get back. If he has not done so, he needs to find the Shrine Cave to get the Staff of Rain. And if he already has done that, then he needs to find the Rainbow Drop Cave. So good progress there from Lord of the Synth. I think he's got the slight exploration lead. Oh, wait a minute. I did not realize that AmazingToaster has the Rainbow Drop already. Okay. So I guess he's got the slight lead in that race.
Yeah, Lord of the Synth still looking for the Staff of Rain cave, and that's all that he needs, and then he'll be able to go back to that cave to trade into the Jerk. But he does have the Stones of Sunlight, does Lord of the Synth.
AmazingToaster seems like he was just running back and forth in Sharlock. I don't know if he feels like he wants another level, because, wow, it sure doesn't seem like it would be necessary. Their MP totals maybe are fairly low. That's all I can think of why they would be continuing to grind here.
Well, I think part of it too, I mean, with that, it looks like the Ghost is a fairly encounterable enemy. Yeah, looking here, Ghosts and Drakies in that first floor of Sharlock, and they're averaging about 200 experience per kill. So even though it's only 3,000, as we were saying, 3,000 something to get to level 20, they can take care of that in 15 encounters. Give or take.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Datyedyeguy, I believe, is on the bottom levels of Sharlock. He's got a bit more MP saved up. Maybe AmazingToaster feels like he's going to have to go back and heal up at an inn first anyways, so he's just doing a little grinding.
And he'll definitely be able to get to 20 at the rate that he's going, but...
So the staff was found now by Lord of the Synth, so if he can remember where the Rainbow Drop is, he will be on his way.
Well, he encountered it not too long ago, and the Datyedyeguy just skipping the treasury in the under end of Sharlock and trying to make a beeline for the Dragon Lord.
Okay, there's the Rainbow Drop for Lord of the Synth, so that top race could be a close one now. Lord of the Synth and AmazingToaster both already on level 19, both with access to Sharlock, and potentially could be diving for the Dragon Lord at the same time here. And we're getting close to the Guardian for the Datyedyeguy. We'll get to take a look at see what's there. And closing in on the Dragon Lord. With 82 MP in his arsenal.
Well, Kaiten just going up to level 13. And is back in and out of coal, so he's got the flute already. And quickly, I was going to say, I think the Drakema chickened out.
Alright, so we had 154 attack power, I believe, on the Datyedyegu's stats, and he's got 10 heal mores to spare, and potentially maybe one casting of stop spell. And that is probably on average a winnable stat.
The Dragon Lord 1 attacking for... Am I reading that right? Is that 86 or 36? No, that is definitely 86.
That can happen.
It was such a high number. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me.
And thankfully, he also has baby breath, and that's like a relief, so that he's able to. And he's attacked him several times, so he's got very high HP as well. So a formidable Dragon Lord 1 fight, having to burn 2 heal mores. This is not a sure thing for him to win at this level now. He's only got 8 heal mores left for the Dragon Lord 2.
And the Dragon Lord has heal as well.
Fortunately for him, he's got a pretty sizable lead on kaiten619, which is the only one of the 4 that he's actually officially running against here in this race. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get him here. Let's see. Here comes the Dragon Lord 2 fight. If he happens to have low HP, then he's a favorite. But it's not a sure thing at this point.
Yes, the Dragon Lord, which in the vanilla version of the game has 130 hit points, and in the standard Dragon Warrior randomizer has between 150 and 165. In this, could have anywhere as low as 100 hit points and as high as 230.
This is interesting to me. AmazingToaster pretty much has decided that level 19 is not good enough. So he's been doing a lot of grinding trying to get to 20, which, as you noted, is kind of a long ways away. So he's healing up now. He did finally make it to 20, and he's healing up, preparing for his dive, while LordOfTheSynth has beaten him into Sharlock, but he's only on 19. So we'll have to see how those dives go for the respective players now. That decision to grind to 20, that is going to make the difference in this game. If that was a wise decision, that's going to favor him. But if LordOfTheSynth can win at 19, then that grinding could end up costing him here, because he is now behind in terms of who could be the first to get to the Dragon Lord. And Datyedyeguy down to his last heal more. Let's see if
he does it.
Woo! Okay! Well done, Datyedyeguy. He did not have max HP. So,
I wasn't able to get a count of the totals as there was so much going on here, but nonetheless, Datyedyeguy is going to get the victory here. Ladies and gentlemen, get out your GGs for Datyedyeguy, who finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 27 seconds.
All right, that was a solid race from Datyedyeguy. He was able to get a quick start with the Erdrick's Sword, did some early exploration, and he was very efficient with his level grinding, as well as finding all the respective items needed. Great race from him.
Now again, even though there are 4 racers here, it is the top 2 facing off against one another in the bottom 2, so Datyedyeguy with the victory over kaiten619.
And this is a close race up top now. We have AmazingToaster on the top floor of the, besides the very top floor, I guess. And 1 floor below is LordOfTheSynth, and AmazingToaster has stronger stats, so he could be in a situation where he was able to walk right past LordOfTheSynth on the way if his battles go quite a bit easier than his opponents. Wow, this is going to be close.
So with the victory to Datyedyeguy, that his second victory, he's going to automatically qualify for the bracket stage coming up in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately for Kaiten, with this loss, it puts him to 0-2, so it eliminates him from bracket contention, but he still will have one more matchup next week to play out the stretch.
Wow, some incredible encounter luck. AmazingToaster did not have a single encounter on that entire floor. They are right next to each other now.
Oh, wow. Mere steps behind one another. One battle or encounter could be the difference here. Oh, and the Ghost with the Hurtmore snipe on Toaster.
All wrong turn by LordOfTheSynth is going to cost him a few seconds. Forgot where the stairway is that he's trying to get to. He did double back for it. Oh my gosh, this is close.
A little extra time taken for AmazingToaster as he goes up to level 21. And LordOfTheSynth with hardly any encounters, and he's down to basement 7 first.
Yeah, so at first AmazingToaster had great encounter luck, and now LordOfTheSynth has been walking without any encounters either. So off to another lead there.
But again, the encounter rate can, this is a matter of encounters at this point. And Bob, the max level in this game can be up to 30, but in a race scenario, you're not going to see it get that high.
Not only that, but if there's a significant attack power difference, AmazingToaster could get to the Dragon Lord 2 fight second, and actually pass him in the fight, it could take him 2 or 3 turns fewer to finish that fight. This is so close.
Well, this Druid Lord being a bit of a pest here to Lord of the Synth, and that's going to give Amazing.
Oh, he walks right past him.
Here.
Oh, he walked right past him. And now here comes Lord of the Synth. He's going to walk past him. And there he goes.
This is a leapfrog, a back and forth. Usually you see this between the bobblehead races at a ball game.
Oh, I mean, making quick work of the Guardian. So he's on his way. He's herbing up. And let's see if any of them choose to use the Death Necklace. No Death Necklace used, and he is on the way. Watch out for that big swing by Dragon Lord 1.
And that could be the difference here. I mean, they'll... Oh, well, Lord of the Synth getting lucky there and avoiding it. Not once, but twice. He might be able to take him out before getting that attack. Oh, but now here comes the heal.
On a Druid Lord fight for AmazingToaster, which took a while on Lord of the Synth side. So here he's going to be delayed here.
And getting hit for just 46 is Lord of the Synth, and now he's running into some trouble with the Dragon Lord 1 fight.
This might be the longest Dragon Lord 1 fight I've seen in a long time. It's like a 10-rounder.
It is going the distance, that's for sure.
Alright, the Guardian goes down, and he steps away from Dragon Lord 1. Here he goes! It's close!
And now AmazingToaster gonna square up with Dragon Lord 1.
This is anyone's race, and finally Dragon Lord 2 for Lord of the Synth.
And Kaiten has officially forfeited on the lower screen.
Ah, okay, good race by Kaiten. Just got off to a little bit of a slower start than his opponents, but well done from him. Good tournament.
And now AmazingToaster on to the Dragon Lord 2 fight.
I've not noticed. I don't think Dragon Lord 2 has any spells, is that correct? And the HP was not at its max. So let's see if Lord of the Synth can get there quickly.
Well, he hit Stop Spell on him first off. He's got a 2-level advantage that might be able to help as far as catching up. More hits in the 20s. Oh, and one in the 30.
Wow. This is pretty close. I think Lord of the Synth has a very slight edge if he can get him right here. Oh, and he's got him. Just by mere seconds.
The Lord of the Synth is going to take it
and
here.
There goes Dragon Lord 2.
Dragon Lord 2.
Oh.
This is probably going to be about a 30-second difference at most here, but get out your GGs for Lord of the Synth, who's going to finish in first with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 44 seconds. But right on his tail is AmazingToaster, who's going to finish 15 seconds later at 108.59. Wow.
Incredible race. Great job by all of our competitors tonight. Wow. We had some serious action. That was a fast seed and wow, what an ending.
Oh man. The closest race I've called thus far.
That was incredible. I guess they're going to invite everyone in at the same time here. Not sure who we've got so far.
Well, joining us, we've got AmazingToaster, Datyedyeguy, and Kaiten. Wow, this is going to be an interesting panel chat
Invite
here, to
everyone
say
in
the
at the
least.
same time here.
My
Not sure who
goodness.
we've got so far.
Well,
What a
joining us,
seed, huh?
we've got AmazingToaster,
That's pretty fast.
Datyedyeguy, and Kaiten.
The fastest I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty even early on. I mean, getting the sword in a lot of cases about anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes in. Toaster getting it a little bit later than everyone else, but not too terribly much. Then it was just a matter of initially the Datyedyeguy just packing on the levels left, right, and sideways. I mean, it was very generous in terms of experience.
Yeah, those wizards were crazy stacked, and yeah, there was very few enemies that had low experience, so it seemed pretty straightforward to gain levels. Just explore, and you'd get what you need.
Yeah, by my count here, there were 6 enemies that had 200 experience or more. The Ghosts with 236, Druins with 218, Spectres at 220, Wyverns at 214, Demon Knights at 231, and those aforementioned Wizards 251. That just allowed things to get right off the bat.
Oh, and I think we have Lord of the Synth in the Discord with us now, too. Congratulations on an incredibly close race. And you may have to push to talk or something like that.
Technology, it takes us all out at times here.
I'm not sure if we can go maybe in order. What did you guys think was maybe the challenging part of this seed? Because it seems like you guys were all making easy work of this one as far as chaos seeds go.
I don't think there was much challenge.
Well, the trick for me was finding Caitlin. I was searching for it for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It felt like I just couldn't find the right little bit of land on that second continent.
Yeah, I could have found that sooner. That would have been nice.
It was Hawkness that was keeping me trying to search for it, but I couldn't find it anywhere that easily.
Yeah, it looked like some of you had found those towns earlier than the others, and you were looking for what each other hadn't found yet. So some of you still had to get the Cantlin for the token and or Hawksness for the armor.
I guess
But yeah, it seemed like it was just a matter of exploring as quickly as possible. None of the enemies seemed to pose much challenge after the early game.
And I didn't need to do that gold grind either.
Okay, what was your thoughts after doing that gold grind and seeing the silver shield for 6 gold?
It was just like, oh, really?
Yeah, I assumed that you guys had remembered maybe what was for sale in Rimmeldar, and were just in case maybe you were saving up enough to go back there.
That was my thought. Was if there was nothing good in there, I could go back to Rimmeldar and buy. I think chain was like 3-4K.
And AmazingToaster, I think it looked like you did some extra grinding at the end. You felt it looked like that level 19 was not going to be good enough to dive.
I wasn't sure because my magic was a little low for my liking, so I decided to grind another level, and it did give me a bunch of magic, but it turned out it was unnecessary.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing in Chaos because of there's so much variability. First, the dives seemed to go really easily for you guys. There wasn't really any enemies along the way that could have really hindered you. But the Dragon Lord 2, if it happened to be much more difficult, then maybe level 20 was required, but it just so happened it did not have max HP, and it did not have the sleep spell, and so you probably could have one on 19, and that may have made the difference here. I think Lord of the Synth went in on level 19, and you chose to grind up to 20 and further.
Now, I will say this, that Dragon Lord 1 was quite scary. I think he was tougher than 2.
Yeah, he was kind of scary.
That attack for 80 damage was
86, I think, for the Datyedyeguy.
I didn't know what to do at that point. It was like, do I try to heal it? Do I try and hope for a one-hit kill? And At that point, I was thankful I didn't put on the death necklace in case that was not going through, because I think that would have been a soft lock then at that point.
That is correct. And Lord of the Synth, with some audio issues, he's joining us in chat here, noting that he did have a gold grind, had 91 MP heading in, which he thought was low, but yeah, he was loaded up with attack power and thought about grinding one more level, and it would have cost him as yeah, that 15-second difference. I mean, there were so when it's that close. I mean, there's so many things you can second guess and third guess as far as what goes next here. And yeah, he noted he figured if he was going to grind to 20 that he would lose. And I mean, considering that difference that there was, but it was so tempting. Given your situation, Toaster, and the fact that I mean, there were a couple of enemies there on that first floor of Sharlock that were just handing out experience like they were Halloween candy. You
Yeah,
had the Ghost and the Drakey were pretty much averaging about 200 apiece.
if they weren't there, I was going to go back to the cave to grind because, or the grave, because grave had some good enemies to grind on too.
Yeah, it was that ended up being. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say what exactly was the difference because when it's that close, I mean, 15 seconds between the two of you, man.
Yeah, that was certainly exciting on our end, and that is really the challenging decision in randomizer in general, and in chaos, I think it's just even more difficult to know what level is enough. And if you in a race, of course, you want to go as quickly as you can, but if you fail, a failed Charlock dive is quite costly as well. So that's a tough balance. That was interesting to see the two different decisions made by you guys on that point, but everything else seemed like you guys were all pretty efficient with collecting everything you needed, and you didn't even really you were sort of at the end game already by the time you got everything. So well done with that.
Yeah, with those, yeah, the high XP enemies and the amount of exploration, it didn't like I grounded some guys at the beginning to get up to level 7 or 8, but beyond that, yeah, the need for like the levels just came as you were getting everything else you needed. So it was a pretty straightforward thing. Just finding everything you needed was a trick.
I was just glad to see that all four of you guys got off the ground quickly. If we had to do like a four-way reseed or something like that, it would have been just like a headache. So yeah, I'm glad you got a good early game. Yeah, I don't know if Kaiten is in here as well. It looked like you got off the ground pretty quickly, and then um, had some struggles navigating through some of the caves and the like. But you had a good race as well. Everybody seemed to get through this whole seed pretty well.
Yeah, it was like I was like, okay, you gave me the sword seed I like. I was like, okay, I can handle this. But actually, exploration is actually one of my truest weaknesses, so it happens.
I guess, Farron, you probably have better notes again than me, but we must, out of this group, have at least one person at 2-0 now, and a couple of 1-1s and some 0-2s. So I think
Yeah,
everyone's going to be playing one more time at least. Maybe you can take over with that.
yeah, most certainly. So I was gonna say where to start here because there was just so much going on here. So the Datyedyeguy with your victory here that puts you to 2-0 here in the Swiss round of the tournament, and that automatically qualifies you for the bracket stage, regardless of what occurs in your third matchup next week in the Ghost round. Another victory would certainly help with seeding, but regardless, Uh, you're in as far as that goes there. Now for Lord of the Synth, with that, as you had noted in chat, was your first tournament victory ever. That puts you at 1-1 and still puts you in the hunt. So you'll need a victory next week to get to the bracket stage. So there will be a lot of winning your in and losing your out type scenarios next week, as there are quite a few people at 1-1. For Amazing Toaster and Kaiten, unfortunately, as far as the bracket stage goes down the road, this was an elimination for that. But you both will have one more matchup next week. in these Swiss round tournaments. So it gives you a chance to maybe upset somebody. But we'll kind of see how the shakeout goes as far as the way things are determined after. Yeah, they're on the bubble as Lord of the Synth go. Yeah, we are. Yeah, it is March. We're approaching that whole March Madness thing. So yes, we have a lot of our racers here are going to be on the bubble and just need a win to get into the mix next week. So that should certainly be a lot of fun. And I don't know. Okay, I was going to say I'm getting a little bit more info here. Because we were on things here, I'm not sure what happened between the Seawolf 1 and Janus. If somebody could provide a little info on that. If not, we'll find out a little bit more as we go on, and we'll be making our way in a little bit here to host Randomania 3 and the Dragon Warrior randomizer race over there between Sparkover and Tristal. And don't forget that starting Friday, March 23rd through Saturday, March 31st, it'll be the Randomania Marathon. That's right, a whole week, roughly 170 straight hours of streamed randomized games, including The Legend of Zelda, Dragon Warrior, as you've seen here, and a few of the sequels as well. Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Mega Man, Super Mario Brothers, Secret of Mana, and a whole bunch more. Check out the full schedule at hararo.org. I believe the link will be up there in chat. Figure that out here in a little bit here, and make sure to give our runners who were all fantastic here tonight a follow: Lord of the Synth, AmazingToaster, Datyedyeguy, and kaiten619. Also want to thank OPT Lawyer for doing a heck of a job, not only with the restream but also tracking, as we know this is not his forte, and also my co-commentator Up to NG and myself, Farhan Burgundy, for everybody here. Good game, everyone. Thank you for watching. And until pretty much moments from now, as we go over to Randomania 3, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Stick around, head on over to Randomania 3. We'll be hosting it for Sparkover and Tristal as we continue here in the Dragon Warrior tournament.